This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen. And everything that we're talking about here today, let's go ahead and get started. We got a lot to cover. I want to talk about reinventing the new Bretton Woods, which is not my idea. It's actually the idea of the people at Bretton Woods. We're going to get into that and so much more. And we're going to go over some wonderful conversation that was at the last swell that just recently ended last month with Ripple and Chris Brummer and David Mills from the Federal Reserve and Ulrich Binzel, I believe I'm saying his name, from the European Central Bank, talking about CBDCs and the important comment that I think I grabbed out of that we should definitely pay attention to. So let's go ahead and get into this thing. We start with Michael Val 5 Links. Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz says the new XRP Ledger upgrade will be a game changer. Let's go into this just for a second. And what he's talking about here is there was a point not long ago, I guess a year or so ago, where the ledger stalled. It didn't halt, but there was a couple people on social media that were, one was a developer and another one I perceived to be a problem in the social community. However, it was mentioned that there was a point where the ledger came very close to halting, but it didn't. It slowed down, and David Schwartz had acknowledged that. But they made a change here, or an upgrade, that they believe will be a game changer going forward for such a thing and to keep it from happening. Here's what he says. Ripple Chief Technology Officer David Schwartz says a new XRP Ledger upgrade will be a game changer. Each server in the XRP Ledger has a unique node list containing its list of validators. The new upgrade will account for validators that may be offline or malfunctioning due to hardware maintenance, internet issues, attacks, and/or external circumstances like natural disasters. According to the XRP Ledger website, the negative UNL is a list of trusted validators which are believed to be offline or malfunctioning as declared by consensus remaining validators. Validators in the negative UNL are ignored for determining a new ledger version has attained a consensus. Coming down to here, Schwartz says the upgrade, which can currently be used in test networks, is not yet able as an amendment to the XRP Ledger protocol, will make it easier to enable more diverse validators. When choosing a validator, performance is not the only criterion. Jurisdiction, institutional commitment, network redundancy, commitment to the network, and many other factors have to go into that. The biggest advantage of negative UNL proposal is that it will make it much easier to say yes to more diverse validators, even if they are running on a single residential connection with a tiny machine in someone's living room. So there you have that. Very excited. If David Schwartz is excited about it, you know I'm excited about it, no doubt about it. Now, before we get on to the reinventing Bretton Woods and the conversations about CBDCs and how they may launch, and you'll be very surprised, I think, or pleasantly surprised to hear what is said about that. I do want to remind you, if you haven't signed up for Link2 and you haven't joined that community, download the free app and join that community. You have to be an accredited investor to buy the SPVs, but I do want to say to you, it is a great community and an excellent source of information. High-level people in this community, and you can learn a lot here. So definitely join up for that. And there will be a conference coming up in December as well. So make sure you don't wait for that. A lot of great stuff happening each week with that company. Okay, so real quick, let's get into this. Digital transformation, the WEF. Everybody's talking about the digital transformation. Let me just play this little quick clip here in case you're confused about it being a digital transformation.
Going digital can play an important role in the Great Reset.
There it is. And that really is the narrative. I just wanted to give you that line towards the end. It's a call to action, call to arms, if you will, right? Going digital can play an important role in the Great Reset. And that is a narrative that has been carried by Kristalina Georgieva, the IMF director now, currently replacing Christine Lagarde from the ECB. We've heard Christine Lagarde at the ECB talk about a Great Reset, right? And never let a good crisis go to waste. So, this is quite a narrative that's being carried by much bigger players in the world than YouTubers like myself. So keep an eye on this. This is from James Rule XRP, Reinventing Bretton Woods Committee. Now, the original Bretton Woods is where the IMF was created, and the USD was placed as the global reserve currency back in 1944. So this is an important moment. And when you hear them using the terminology of reinventing Bretton Woods Committee, this is not to be taken lightly, I believe. So right now we're looking forward to November 4th and November 6th online. If we're able to attend that, I'm certainly going to try to. So then let's look at this. The most recent Reinventing Bretton Woods Committee meeting was October 12th through the 16th. Who else met during that time was the IMF, through the 12th to the 18th. And we know that the IMF has been having heavy conversations with people like Barry Eichengreen, who was on Blockstars with David Schwartz. And Barry Eichengreen in the IMF conference that we covered here was talking about the problem of the 21st century Triffin dilemma of the global reserve status of the U.S. dollar, and that something had to happen with it. And everyone on that panel agreed that they needed to make an external adjustment to the exchange peg of dominant currencies like the U.S. dollar, which means a debasement of value. Who else does that fall in line with? Well, I'll tell you. Brad Garlinghouse. Brad Garlinghouse has said with the $7+ trillion that's been printed that there would be expected, and I'm paraphrasing, you certainly would expect to see a push towards crypto in places like that for high ground for investing and safety, because you would expect to see a debasement to dominant currencies like the USD because of all the printing at some point. Now, with that being said, what does reinventing Bretton Woods look like? Well, I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like Accenture, who's partnered with Ripple. TCSA, which is a sovereign asset currency algorithm solutions. Couldn't find out a lot about them. Didn't see a bunch of information about them. UBS, which is absolutely in bed with Ripple and R3. And the Chamber of Digital Commerce, which has also got R3 on that Chamber of Commerce. I didn't see on the website that Ripple was technically a part of the Chamber of Digital Commerce, but I believe that they are. And if they aren't, I think we're okay. And the AIFC is Estonia, another conference committee out of, I believe, out of Kazakhstan or Kazakhstan. So however that is, if I said it wrong, forgive me. But the reality is that during the week of the fall of the IMF World Bank meetings, Reinventing Bretton Woods Committee, in association with a group of partners, has organized a series of webinars which mobilized a diverse high-level group of experts to address a range of topics, including the economics of a pandemic, the role of data, macroeconomic policy and transition, perspectives in advanced emerging countries, CBDC and private sector. A recipe for innovation, ? The future of money reimagined for financial inclusion. You can't make this up. Fiscal policy and monetary policy, and a conversation about the U.S. election. Oh, brother, it is something else. When we see here, I just wanted to take and show you that, Accenture back in 2015 had struck an alliance with Ripple, an enterprise company providing cross-currency settlement solutions for financial institutions. This is from 2015. If you remember, we also interviewed Diana Adachi on this channel. And she gave an incredible interview. She was at Ripple, and she is the one that did the due diligence on Ripple, the company, when they first came around. And Accenture gave the green light of Ripple to the financial industry at that time. And that's one of the big doors that opened through Accenture and that due diligence from Diana Adachi. And she certainly believes that Ripple and XRP have an amazing future going forward in the new financial world we're going to. And this here is obviously UBS. And I just wanted to show this information so you see and get the validation. This is from 2019 in February. UBS in bed with Ripple and R3 for cross-border payments. I have to say, the plot thickens here. I mean, this is pretty remarkable when you're talking about reinventing Bretton Woods Committee. I mean, like I said, again, when people say, we need a new Bretton Woods moment, which we've hear, Kristalina Georgieva from the IMF saying these words, not me, her, the managing director of the IMF, calling for a new Bretton Woods moment, and to not go back to what we had before the pandemic, but to move to a new Bretton Woods moment. Well, the old Bretton Woods moment was the birth of the IMF and the birth of the USD as a global reserve currency. So it sounds like to me a new Bretton Woods moment may be a new form of an IMF and a new global reserve currency, and or maybe a bridge currency. So it gets exciting. We'll keep an eye on it, but that's what we got for today. I think it's a pretty explosive thing, to be honest with you, that they're having these things and openly titling these things Reinventing Bretton Woods or a new Bretton Woods moment. And if you really understand what Bretton Woods was, I think you really understand the profoundness of why they are saying these words. Okay, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know. Do me a favor. Check out all the links in the description box in the comment section. I use each and every one of those products or services, and it may be something you want or need, and you can absolutely know and trust the links that you click on that are underneath my videos. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Take care. Have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.